What is up? What is happening, everybody? It is Janelle here with a video on filters. It seems as though, when we hear the word filter, we're thinking about cleaning our filtration system in our house, right? The annual cleanup, if you have a filtration system, if it does occur annually. And for social media, Instagram and any photo that we have to get the perfect picture, we neglect to think about how important filters are in a much wider context. Thinking about the kind of people in your life, the kind of thoughts that you have. Are they positive or are they negative? Those are filters, or those are things that we need to put filters on, or we need to add filters to. What you say and how that affects other people. Have you ever had a moment where you got extremely upset with someone? I have 3 younger brothers, and there are times when they really get on my nerves. Yeah, so someone upsets you, and you wanna say something really mean, or you wanna yell at the top of your lungs at them, but you refrain. You hold back and you say, I'm gonna take a breath, I'm going to count to 10, or I'm going to remove myself from the situation. See, that is important, because in that moment you're thinking, if I talk right now, I'm going to blow, right? So you're filtering out the negative things that you would have said to that person had you reacted right that instant that they upset you. You refrain from swearing up and down and sideways, because you know that it would negatively affect the way that they felt after, and it probably hurts you as well. Filtering your thoughts. This is a huge one, because I don't think that we understand the extent to which things come into our minds that we take for our own thoughts. A lot of the times we'll have a thought that isn't necessarily ours. I'm the worst person ever for thinking this or for doing this. A lot of the times it's this initial reaction that comes into our minds, and then from there we can consciously decide whether we want to own that thought, make it our own, or whether we want to discard it. You have a cup of ice, and then you pour hot water on that ice. Now, this analogy can be looked at in 2 ways, I think. One could be the negativity being the hot water, and how the ice just gets caught up in the hot water, and then it melts away, and it's no longer its positive self just because of the hot water melting the ice, which is a metaphor for the way that too much negativity can really get to you, and you can become negative for that. And even though, the water is melting the ice still has some impact, because it does make the water cooler, but negativity eventually takes hold. The other way that you can look at it is the hot water being the positive one, and melting away the negativity. Of course, there's always going to be some form of negativity around. You can't really avoid that, but you can actively change the overall impact that it has. So those are the analogies. Oh man, I was actually so excited for that analogy. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Just nip it in the butt, that negative thought, before it really can manifest itself to be something that is bigger than it should be. Fear and guilt and anger, those emotions come from negativity, I find. And if you're positive to yourself, if you're kind, if you're patient with yourself, you can talk yourself out of it and say, I shouldn't feel guilty for this right now, or I'm not going to be angry right now. I'm going to trade that in with some positive thoughts, and slowly let the anger dissipate. Filtering people. Now, this can seem a little harsh. You have that negative friend who, you don't really tell things to, because that they're either gonna take it to be something that is attacking them, or something that they're gonna try to talk you out of. Wanting to apply for a job, but them saying that you're not qualified for the job, so there's no point in applying. like still try. You never know what can happen. You'll see like basketball games or oh my gosh, like The Amazing Race, the way that it might seem as if someone's gonna get eliminated, but then it's like a no elimination round, and you're like, well, I didn't see that coming. But you know, anything is possible, and sometimes you really do have to put a stop to it and like kind of like pump the brakes and be like, you know what, just distance yourself from that person. It doesn't, I'm not a big fan of confrontation, so knowing me, I'd probably just distance myself. But sometimes you really do have to make that hard call and say, I don't do well when you are in my life. Well, that's super harsh, but you know what I mean. Just realizing that some people might be a thorn in your side rather than that rose garden. I don't know if that analogy works. When it's a family member, that's obviously much harder, you know, because you can't really kind of like end ties with them. But I do think that if you need to stay around someone who isn't the best motivator to you, really try to counteract their thoughts. So it could be counteracting their thoughts like to them, right? So, you know, they just said, oh wow, you got the job. I mean, like, good luck, I guess. I mean, I don't know how long you'll last, but whatever, right? Like, in that moment, you could say, I think I'm gonna do fairly well, thank you very much, right? That sort of thing. Or if you don't want to talk to them or confront them, you can stop the thoughts that start forming in your head before they become something more than they should. Because, I mean, let's be honest, someone will say something negative, and even though you know that it's not true, if this is them saying something negative about you, for example, or somebody else, totally, you know, like, you know that it's not true, but your mind starts playing tricks on you anyways. You're like, really, mind? Like, we're supposed to be a team here. Like, why are you failing me like this? Why are you doing this to me right now? So far I've talked about your thoughts, or the way you treat yourself, the way you treat others, the way that people treat you, you know, like the kind of people that you surround yourself with and things like that. Now quickly to talk about things like food and the way that you treat your body. It is so easy to pick up like a $2 burger. It's more challenging to go to the grocery store and buy lettuce, tomatoes, green peppers, cucumbers, and things to make a salad. It's really crazy, but salads at a restaurant are more expensive than like fast food burgers, which I find really strange. Because wouldn't you think that the meat would be more expensive than the greens, like the natural grown greens? So I guess I'm just trying to say that you should yield to when your mind says, I'm really hungry, let's get a burger. You know, and sometimes, you know, like you need to look in the future. You know, like so I have 3 kinds of me, like the way that I kind of look at it. So like past, present, and future Janelle. So sometimes present Janelle, or PJ, will actually talk to FJ and say, okay, so I'm gonna help you out now so that in the future you won't have to suffer like this. And, you know, like physically, like physical exercise, you know, going, you know, you don't have to buy a gym membership for like $100. You could easily, you know, like open up a YouTube video. I did a Blogilates exercise this morning, right in my living room. You could do that, or go for a walk, right? There's a lot of people who have Fitbits. You know, go for a walk and get your steps in, or something like that. And then finally is spiritual food. Whether you are a spiritual person or not, your mind and your soul are the main parts of your being. So I just think it's important to make sure that you're getting the right kind of source of positivity for your spirit or for your soul. I just feel like I'm getting so deep. Philosophy is a minor that I take in school. So, and I feel like I probably should have said this before I started making these videos so that you guys know when I get deep into this sort of conversation, that's where it's coming from. I guess I'm just saying it's important to make sure that you're getting the right nourishment, or the right kind of nourishment for your being, for all parts of you to live a long, amazing, prosperous, thrilling life. Hey, you made it to the end. Thank you again so much for watching. This again, was just a discussion video on filters, because social media just runs rampant with the need to have a good filter for your photo and things like that, when in reality filters are so much more important in other aspects of our daily lives. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Previous video is down here, and social medias are over here, and subscribe. So good morning, noon, and night, wherever you are in the world, and I shall talk to you again next Wednesday. Ba-bam! That was weird. Whoa, that was so weird. Okay, I'm just gonna go now. I'll see you guys next Wednesday, yeah? Okay, cool.